Yo, what is up, you guys? We're back with another Forge Master video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best substats to use as an early game player. So I pretty much made one for like a late game player of that talked about crit damage and crit chance, which is very, very like beneficial. So if you haven't seen that, and if you're in like quantum gear, then do take advantage of those of the tips there because it does help a lot. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the early game stages. So and maybe a little bit mid game, but I would say early game and mid game would be like primitive all the way through like modern is early, and then space, interstellar, and multiverse would probably be in the immediate or just like in the middle, right? So like early game, the mid game, and then the late game. So yeah, that's how I would categorize it. And then these tips in this video is going to go all the way up to multiverse. If you want to do like quantum and above, if you guys are in quantum, then consider watching my video about the best subsets to use as a late game player, right? So those are those tips for that. But anyway, with this video, I do want to talk about a few different things. So with the best subsets to use early game on, there's a PvP and a PvE. PvE is player versus environment, which is what you guys are looking at right now on the screen. I'm in battle 11-7. Obviously, early game players are going to be in battle like all the way up to like 9 something, or maybe even 10, I would say. Or actually, probably not 10, but 9 and below is probably where most people are at if you're an early game player. And so that is the PvE, and then that is way different than what it is for like the League or like the War or even the dungeons, right? So the dungeons are also PvE, but it's just different with PvE and PvP. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more as we go on, but that's something to keep in mind, that there are two different like categories where substats are going to be beneficial, or one is going to be more beneficial than the other. And that's something to just keep in mind as I go through this. So first thing I want to talk about is early game, primitive, medieval, early modern, and modern. When you pretty much start out, you're going to not really get substats. So like for primitive and, you're going to get substats for like whatever, right? All the way up till modern. But once you get to modern, early game, you just want to make sure to prioritize these specific ones. So for example, if you wanted a range build, which I would recommend, range build is perfect for PvP, but typically the League isn't going to be that beneficial because you're probably going to be like stuck in like silver or bronze, probably silver for most people. But in Silver League, the best that I would recommend is a ranged build. So try to go for these substats specifically. The attack speed and the double chance and the lifesteal work perfectly for range. And then if you want, you could pair with just ranged damage. I would prefer ranged damage over regular damage. Regular damage is fine. It works for like the skills, it works for the pets, it works for the obviously the main damage, but the range damage is going to give you more damage for range specifically. So it's kind of hard to explain. I don't have like the actual percentages memorized or whatever, or like the stats, but if you guys are interested, join the Discord. They're going to teach you, or not teach you, but explain to you the like specific data that goes into the percentages, and link in the description. So definitely take advantage of that. But for like I said, so yeah, so attack speed, range damage, double chance, and lifesteal. Honestly, the range damage is kind of optional. Like if you wanted a second, or if you wanted a fourth substat to use, then consider that. But yeah, the attack speed, double chance and attack speed should be above 100%. Well, double should be at 100%, but attack speed should be above like 100 to 150 is ideal. And then double chance 80 to 100%. Lifesteal around like 40% to 50% is pretty ideal if you can get that, which you should be able to if you only go for the 3 substats. Now, typically some people wanted to pair up lifesteal and health regen. I don't really think health regen works well with like attack speed and double chance. I mean, you could like obviously the attack speed and double chance is for like attacking, right? But health regen isn't as beneficial if you have lifesteal, because lifesteal works for with double chance and attack speed. So take advantage of those 3 substats specifically. That's for the range build. If you wanted an early game melee build, then it's a little bit different. I would recommend not using lifesteal. By the time you like catch up to the player, the lifesteal won't be as active. Like you're probably going to be like half health by the time you start hitting them, or even less than half health, and then the lifesteal won't heal as much as health regen would. So what I would recommend is still keep attack speed, still keep double chance, but then instead of lifesteal, I would have health regen, and then if you can, try to incorporate some block chance. Melee damage, you can get a ton of damage here, which is very nice. I think the max is like 50%. So getting maybe 1 or 2 pieces with melee damage with like 40%, getting that up to like 80 something percent, that is pretty ideal. It'll help you with just doing more damage. But I would definitely highly recommend getting that health regen up as much as possible. Double chance and attack speed. Double chance could be like around 50 to 70%. You don't really have to prioritize that as much for, especially when you're at modern. Modern gear, like you're gonna be progressing a lot faster, so don't like stress too much. But early game, like I said, like it's the best case scenario is just playing the game as much as you can to progress through modern, early modern, like all that stuff, and then all the way up to Quantum, but that's probably going to take about a month. So yeah, take advantage of the block chance, the health regen, and then a little bit of the double chance attack speed, and then some melee damage if you can. But that's what I would do there. Health regen should add up to like around 30%. I think the max for health regen is like 6%, I believe. So each piece should have like 5% or more. That's probably ideal. So you'll probably need like 4 pieces with 5% to get like a decent amount. I think, what is it? Yeah, that's only like 20%. So maybe like 5 or 6 pieces, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then yeah. So with the other, especially for early game, like health, damage, all of that stuff, I don't think it's that worth. I mean, you could do it, but it's I feel like you're just better off with either attack speed, double chance, health regen, and then block chance is kind of optional. It works very well with melee and health regen because as you're like walking toward the ranged opponents, then you're blocking their chances, and then you're also healing when you're not attacking. So that's definitely ideal. But anyway, that's for early game, and then once you start progressing even more, you're gonna find yourself going through space, interstellar, multiverse. Those 3 I would say are around mid game, and that's pretty good, especially like if you've only been playing for like a week or something. I think that's where most of the community has been telling me it's about like a week to get there. So that's very good if you are. With that, the substats haven't changed as much because you're not really getting double substats until you get to Quantum, but you are getting legendary pets at this time, so you are getting double substats for the 3 pet slots that you have, which helps a lot. And then with the double substats, that's when you want to be incorporating other things. So if we go here and here, first for the range, definitely get 100% double chance and 100+% attack speed. I think the cutoff is like 150. Don't really go more than like 150, 151. But there's data that backs that up in the Discord. So if you want to know the exact percent to stop, then ask the Discord members. But yeah, so these 3 substats, perfect for range. But with the double substats, then you want to start using maybe like range damage. If you have legendary skills at this time, that's when skill damage and skill cooldown, specifically skill damage mostly, but if you can get like maybe 50% skill damage with the legendary skills, it's going to help a lot. So take advantage of skill damage because at this stage, you're going to be hopefully getting legendary skills, and then you're going to notice that the legendary skills are doing a ton of damage. So that's when skill damage applies. I think that's the only time when skill damage applies. I wouldn't use it for any ultimate gear or any stats, or I wouldn't use them for any mythic skills. Yeah, so skill damage only for legendary stuff, and usually mid game is when you get the legendary skills. And then health and damage, these 2, I just don't really see it being beneficial. I think the health substat is maybe beneficial for the melee, so you get more health while you run towards them, but you could say that for damage too. So I don't know, if you want to pair health and health regen, it could be something to experiment with. Maybe you can like progress through the PvE a little bit more than the PvP, but typically what you're going to see is you're going to be better off with like either getting better attack speed, better life steal with like the range and all that good stuff. But yeah, so for melee, try to prioritize these substats. Usually with the double substats, you should be able to get more health regen with block chance a little bit better. But if you can, try to go for these. And then health is something to experiment with. But a lot of people, they don't really take advantage of health as much. So, yeah, so maybe it's something to just experiment and then get rid of if it's just not working. But yeah, that's what I would recommend for early game and mid game. It's pretty beneficial. And then with your mounts, yeah, you should be around like common and rares. But those are the subsets that I would recommend for early game and mid game. I kind of already talked about it like a month ago, and things have changed. I mean, we did get the health substat. There has been like balance updates and stuff, or bug fixes and all that good stuff. So that's good to know. But hopefully, like another update comes soon. And yeah, so I would definitely take advantage of those substats for early game and mid game. And if you guys have any like critiques or questions or comments, then just let me know down below. And yeah, join the link in the description. The Discord link is gonna help answer like very specific questions. If you want to keep something or remove something, then that's what the Discord is for. So take advantage of that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.